Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I want to shout out E the Queen. E the Queen sent me an email on Facebook. This was on the 11th. She wanted to know my entire opinion on the whole 2Chainz situation. And at that point in time, he was denying everything happened. Supposedly it came out that he had gotten robbed while he was out in San Francisco. TMZ was reporting this, and 2Chainz was denying it. He had even sent out the following tweets. So I just wanted to see how it was going to play out, and I felt like 2Chainz wasn't being honest. I thought he was lying just to kind of save face because, you know, he's a rapper, his persona and everything else. But I knew that damn TMZ was going to get to the bottom of everything with their nosy asses. They are literally the FBI of the internet. So, if you guys have not heard, the video evidence came out the day before yesterday, and it showed 2Chainz being robbed, and basically the dudes pull out guns and 2Chainz goes running. He's running so fast that he messes around and he falls, and the internet starts going in on him. They're like, oh, it's official, he's a liar. They were calling him No Chains and everything else. So the whole situation is just kind of crazy. E the Queen wanted to know my opinion on everything. So basically, it's funny that I'm talking about 2Chainz today and I'm wearing a dress made of damn chains. But with that being said, I think the whole situation is very, very unfortunate. You know, the internet is just kind of a trip. First of all, I think 2Chainz was wrong for lying. But I understood why he lied. 2Chainz has been in the game for years. You know, I've been known about 2Chainz since he was Titty Boy, since he was on DTP with Ludacris. 2Chainz been doing his thing in Atlanta for years. But now he's mainstream, so a lot of people are just now, you know, getting up on 2Chainz. Ever since Spend It came out, that's when a lot of people around the country got to know more about 2Chainz. But people been banging 2Chainz down in the A. So with that being said, you know, I feel like he was trying to just play up his persona, and that's why he kept trying to play it off. But I feel like he should have just been honest about everything. After everything was said and done, once the video came out and people were going in on him, his security guard came out and spoke on the situation and admitted to it happening. So, as of today, 2Chainz has spoke to Atlanta's 107.9 and basically explained to them the whole situation. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a bit of that interview, and then I'll come back with the rest of my commentary.
I'm a blessed individual, you know. People, you know, I was shot at. I don't think the surveillance footage actually has any volume and have any noises to it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm in San Francisco, where I'm very comfortable at. I go there all the time. I love the atmosphere. I love the scenery. I love the dispensaries. I just love going out there. Last week I flew my homies up there because it's just an experience. I flew some of my homies from Atlanta. I was coming from Seattle. So they was probably there a couple hours before me, just chilling, you know. So you know, walking down the street. Of course, you can see it on the footage. The footage was from like a computer store. One from the place I was going is from like down the street. So you can see the people kind of getting out the car. You know what I'm saying? Dude ran up like I saw the gun before. I saw him. It was like a 357. It was so heavy he couldn't really hold it. You know, so people were saying he was skipping, like he couldn't hold it. The gun was so big. That's what made me take off running. Like I know he can't. Right. He can't hold this much. You know what I mean? But if you look on the first camera, like TMZ, it's another dude that was like right behind him. That like my security kind of like pushed the gun down. It was another dude that had that black hoodie on that I didn't see when I took off running up the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying? So when I go into the street, which I don't even remember doing that. When I went to the street, it was like another dude with a whole another gun. That's when I knew it wasn't like an episode of Punk. I was like, this is real, you know what I'm saying? Right. And you know what I'm saying? So like when I got back on the sidewalk, I started swerving. So dude just started shooting. So when I was just like, I don't know if the momentum from the shot, because I had like bullet fragments in my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like the police, when they came, they just like, what happened here? And they told me don't move. And, you know, I just left. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was trying to say that my adrenaline was pumping so much that maybe I was shot and didn't know it, but I knew I wasn't shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, G thought I was shot. Like, Ace, they thought I was shot because, you know, I went down as soon as he bust. You know what I'm saying? I think he thought he shot me. Right. Because when he ran up on me, like he didn't even run. He kind of like started walking. He was breathing hard. He was like, you know, I heard him saying that. He was like, where them bands at? And I said, bro, I don't have no bands on me. It didn't make sense. I don't even like have money when I go to this. They give me all the free, you know, weed that I want. You know what I'm saying? So he said, give me them. He's like, give me that. And you know, so but during this time, you know, like I dropped my phones out of my pocket. I had like my BlackBerry, you know what I'm saying, and another iPhone. So when I do, he looking around like, give me them. I don't have no band, so I kind of like put my hand over my head because I thought he was finna try to do me in. And he just took off running and stuff. I had my jogging pants on that you can see. And I think that's why I fell. They kind of started sagging, and I had on like a vest zip up hoodie. You know what I'm saying? So one thing in my pockets was like some keys that fell out. You know, they of course didn't use the keys. My phone, and then I had a wallet that had a chain on it. And I think that he thought he was snatching my chain. Like I think he thought he was getting my because I had all my chains on. I had my watch. You know what I'm saying? So that's why like that was at like 4:30. You know, I had a show that night in San Francisco for Summer Jam. So I went turned up, posted my Instagram pics like I usually do, and it was like, man, we thought you got shot. And so I said, well, you know, that's when I started putting up the rules. Like, if you get shot, I thought you either die or go to the hospital. Right. And so then they was like, you got robbed. And I was trying to say, like, what did I get robbed for? Because when I looked at the footage, I'm thinking, like, I don't even think the dude took my phones. I think they just fell. And then when the police came and started making this crime scene, we was like, let's just get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so, you know, in my, where I come from, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole robbing thing, like, just... You know, I figured that dude them thought I was going to freeze when they pulled out the gun, like, and just give me everything, you know what I mean? So when everybody started scattering, what people don't understand is we were like, imagine if you're in Atlanta, you know where Walters is in Georgia State. Right. But this is downtown San Francisco. It's like Peachtree Street, 4 lanes. It's an Intercontinental Hotel across the street. So it was like, it wasn't like, they, you know, TMZ, like my crew was running. Like I went with 14 people. Downtown was running. I wasn't with a lot of people. I was with like 5 or 6 people. Like the people started around, it was babies, it was kids, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I just got up, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't hit. Like in my mind, I thought he was shooting in the air. And so, you know, like, you know, G was really seeing that he was shooting at you. I didn't even, till that footage came out, like one of my friends pulled me to the side of my driver. He didn't want to tell me in front of everybody, like, bro. I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Like he shot you, bro. He told me like 100, like, bro, I'm telling you, bro. Like, his G was freaking out, like he shot you, bro. Because if you look in there, it was a white van. That was my van. They took off and went to go get an ambulance. When they came back, I was standing up. So they was freaking out, like, what happened? So when the police came and all that came, they like, what happened here? We wouldn't talk. I'm just sitting there. And so he was like, oh, you know, oh, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got fragment in your hair. This, you know, like it done got real. They start pulling out yellow tape, and we need to put you in an ambulance. But I'm standing up, I'm talking. All I'm saying is, and then you know what happened was I'm like, gee, find my phones. I think when I'm saying find my phones, they thinking the people took my phones off me or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, gee, get my phones. You know what I'm saying? Because you know I got, you know, I know everybody. I don't want nobody, you know, digits out and everything. So I'm like, gee, find my phones or whatever. So when people we go to looking on these cars when I'm all in the middle of the street, they say you can't do that. This is a crime scene. So I see one little cop start clapping like, we need to hurry up and figure out what we're going to do. I said, okay, we figured out. We got in the car and we left. Right. You know what I'm saying? We're going to figure it out. Cool. You know what I'm saying? So I had flew Doll up and all that. So Doll was like, man, you already know what this is, man. Let's get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, you know, let's just go home. I'm like, I can't go home. I got a show tonight. I got a video shoot tomorrow in LA. I can't go home. You know, I shot Feds last week, but for real, I had everything set up. Right. Director from London and stuff. I can't, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, so I go do the show. It's like 20,000 people. So basically, I just came out there and just told the whole crowd, can't nobody stop this. Right. Period. Nobody. Turn up. Nobody can stop this. Nobody can stop Birthday Bash. Nobody can stop fans is watching. Nobody can stop me. Right. Period. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. So boom, you know what I mean? So it's just like all these people like, bro, you got robbed. I'm like, what? What did I get robbed? Or like, what? Because I have everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that was the whole thing about me, like, being in rap when they take, you know, someone's chain or someone's watch, they wear it, then they post it. Right. Then they be like, give us this amount of money for your chain or don't cost that much. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. The only thing this dude could do is basically, I guess, you know, post maybe my ID, if that. And maybe, you know, maybe my phone. And I was just really crabbing on the iPhone 5, so I was forced to do that.
Okay, so you guys just heard the interview, and I'm glad that 2Chainz is okay. I'm glad that he wasn't hurt. I'm glad that he wasn't killed. We don't need any more dead black men. You know, it's not that serious. You know, a lot of people talk a lot of shit on the internet, and they're calling him all types of punks and say, you know, he's a punk for running. He should have stood and fight. Where was his security guards? How come nobody had no guns? Why was everybody running? You know, this is in broad daylight. You know, so it would have been better if there was a big shootout and innocent people got killed behind some fucking jewelry, behind a damn chain. You know, this is just insane to me. I don't respect anyone who would think that it's okay to take somebody else's possessions. You know, regardless of what he raps about, you have no business to go up to somebody, pull out a gun on them, and try and take their possessions. I think this shit is cowardly. You know, and it's just insane. And I think a lot of these rappers need to wake up. Folks are trying to get famous, and they're going to be famous either on their own accord, or they're going to be famous through infamy. And they're going to use these rappers to get their fame. So if you're talking certain things in your songs, you talking about, you know, riding around and spending it, how you got money and chains and everything else, dudes are going to test you. You know what I'm saying? He might get shown a lot of love in the A, but once you leave Atlanta, you got guys in other cities who don't get two shits about you or your music, and they are going to test you. You know, so I just think the whole situation is just crazy. I just, you know, I feel like a lot of times we will talk a lot of shit on the internet, but again, until somebody pulls out a gun on you, you never know how you're going to react. You know, you have one or two choices. You're either going to fight it out or you're going to run. And in my personal opinion, it was smart for him to run. Why would you sit and fight somebody who has a gun pointed dead in your direction? And then from what 2Chainz said, the dude shot at him. So I don't blame him for running. My ass would have ran too. Shit, I'd have dropped out my fucking jewelry and phones and everything trying to get the hell up out of there. You know, this situation is just kind of crazy. You have him getting shot at and potentially robbed. You had Rick Ross getting shot at by people. I think a lot of these rappers need to reevaluate some of the music they're putting in their songs. When you speak about a certain lifestyle and you say that you're about that life, unfortunately you got a lot of ignorant people out here who are going to test you and try and see if you're really about that life. So I think that's what this situation was here with 2Chainz. You already got people on the internet bragging about it, talking about they were behind the setup and, you know, don't come to our town and that's what you get. You know, it's just unfortunate that we just can't support each other. You never hear about this happening in the rock and roll industry. You never hear about Steven Tyler of Aerosmith walking down the street and getting robbed by a bunch of goons. You know, it's always in hip-hop, and that's the sad part. Part of it, I believe, is the music being so negative and the constant bragging about what you have and what I don't have and how you're better than me because I don't have jewelry and bitches and watches and chains and everything else. I think that's starting to just literally get to some people and they're losing it. And they feel like they can go up and try and rob a rapper and try and rob a producer. But I can't condone that. I can't condone anyone thinking that they have the right to pull out a gun on another human being and take their possessions. You know, so I'm glad that 2Chainz is okay. I hope he gets some better security guards. I think for his security guards to just, you know, break out of there was kind of crazy because it's like, well, what is he paying y'all for y'all to, they was out of there before he was. You know, I'm like, damn, security, where the hell they go? They was gone. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of a scary situation that he has hired security and no one was there to protect him. So he might need to get a whole new staff. After these security guards, they was not on their shit. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the entire situation. Do you think 2Chainz is at fault for constantly bragging about his money and his jewelry and, you know, talking about being about that life? Or do you feel like these damn robbers were at fault for, you know, committing a criminal act against somebody? You know, I just find it interesting that people are blaming 2Chainz for this as well. But again, when you rap about certain things, you got to realize that certain people are going to test you. So go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about the entire situation. All right. Deuces.